Hello learners, in this video we will study about chromosomal theory of inheritance. This chromosomal theory of inheritance, it came into existence when Mendel was not alive. Till the time he was there, only the word factor was known to him. Not even genes were known to him because their names were given later by Johnson scientists. So till the time he was alive, he was not knowing about genes, he was not knowing about chromosomes. What he knew was just a factor which was synonymous to gene. After his death, there were three scientists, de Vries, Correns and Schumacher. The names are going to be important because it may come in one marker question and they may ask you the name of scientists who reworked upon Mendel's work. So answer is de Vries, Correns and Schumacher. After them, microscopy came into existence where things could have been stained and they could be easily observed in the microscope. So microscopy came into existence and it helps in visualizing chromosomes in the microscope. There were two scientists that are associated with chromosomal theory of inheritance and their names are Boveri and Sutton. Year is also important. It is 1902. So Boveri and Sutton, they worked separately upon the chromosomes and they came up with an important conclusion. They said that chromosomes, they work in parallel with the genes. Means whatever behavior is there for the chromosomes, genes also exhibit similar type of behavior. There were various findings. First, we will interpret the diagram which is being given in the NCERT and then we will sum up with the postulates of chromosomal theory of inheritance. Now, before I explain you this figure, I just want to give you a summary that meiosis is sum total of meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And in meiosis 1, what happens? The homologous chromosomes, they are separated from each other. Homologous chromosomes, they always exist in pairs. So that pair is broken in the meiosis 1. Pair is generally referred to as the diploid condition. And when the pair is broken, each gamete will receive half chromosome. Thus, meiosis 1 is actually the reductional division because in its anaphase 1, what is happening? The anaphase 1 is leading to the separation of homologous chromosomes. Whereas in meiosis 2, it is just similar to mitosis, where the chromosomes are getting separated from each other along their centromeric point. So once meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 gets over, then we get the gametes. So here in this figure, they have taken the case of cell cycle. Remember, cell cycle you have already studied in grade 11 and cell cycle means the formation of cell from the pre-existing cell. Right? This is cell cycle and during this cell cycle, two phases occurs. One is the interphase and another is the cell division. Means cell division can only occur if interphase has already been taken place and interphase had three important substages: G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase. After this, cell division could happen. These cell divisions could be of two types. It could be mitosis or it could be meiosis. Because here we are talking about the formation of gametes, thus we are talking about meiosis only because meiosis gives birth to the gametes and gametes, they are always containing half the number of chromosomes to the parent cells. Means they are always haploid. Okay, so they have taken in this figure all these things. That's why I have explained them. See here, this is the first phase of interphase. In between they have not mentioned, but S phase might have happened in between. And the characteristic feature of S phase is that DNA replication, it occurs in the S phase. And G2 phase is a one wherein the cell prepares itself for the next cell division. Just see here, the chromosomes are shown by yellow color. See, yellow, orange, red, green. That means 4 chromosomes are shown to you. Now after G1, as I said, S phase has to happen, means DNA replication will happen. That means 2 arms of the chromosome will be seen. Chromatids will be seen because DNA replication has already been taken place. So when a cell will go in S phase and then from S phase it will come into G2, chromatids are seen here in this figure. Earlier it was just a chromosome, now it has 2 arms. And if you want to represent chromatids, then you can show by this. These are our chromatids, right? These are our chromatid. This is the chromatid which I have colored. This is another chromatid, right? These are the arms of the chromosome. Now, we know that homologous chromosomes, they pair along the equatorial plate in metaphase 1. Once G2 will get over, prophase 1 has to happen, in which bivalents are formed. Bivalents means the chromosome, they will arrange in the pairs like this, right? So homologous chromosome will be there. Such group is known as bivalent. These bivalents, they arrange on the equatorial plate in metaphase 1. And in anaphase 1, as I said, the separation of the homologous chromosomes are there. See, the homologous chromosomes, they are being separated. Earlier they were close together. Now they are getting separated. This yellow one will move towards the opposite pole and this will move towards the opposite pole. Same will happen with the red one and the green one. That means reductional division has been taken place. Now we are studying this diagram because we are studying chromosomal theory of inheritance. So herein we will be talking about chromosomal behavior at the time of meiosis, at the time of gamete formation. In meiosis 2, we know that division occurs along this axis. Let me show you. Division occurs along the centromeric axis, right? This is the plane of division. So homologous chromosomes are already being separated. Now division will occur along the horizontal axis, and as a result you can see that chromosome has been broken into 2 parts, and that is what happens in the anaphase 2 of meiosis 2, which is just equivalent to mitotic anaphase. So that means they will be getting separated. Here also there will be a separation, and this separation will lead to the formation of germ cells or gametes. And you can see here 4 gametes are formed. Now these gametes, they are haploid. They contain half the number of chromosome as that of the parent cell, right? Because meiosis is a reductional division, and the basic funda behind meiosis is that it always leads to the reduction of the chromosome number. Now if we are starting from here and we are ending up at here, what are you seeing? That chromosomes, they existed in pairs and then they got separated from each other and they have gone in the gametes. That's what the foundation, that's what the finding of Boveri and Sutton. They said that as Mendel talked about the separation of genes or factors, it is actually not the genes which are separating, it is actually the separation of chromosomes. Because chromosomes, they contain gene or them. If this red colored structure is a chromosome, if they have genes on it, then these alleles or genes, they are going to get separated. That was the finding of Boveri and Sutton. They said that genes and chromosomes, they work parallelly with each other, right? So what are the postulates of chromosomal theory of inheritance? Chromosomes existed in pair. These are important to learn because chromosomal theory of inheritance, it can come in question with 2 marks, with 3 marks, even for 5 marks it can be asked. So you are required to do every illustration. Along with that, you have to write text in a refined manner. So chromosome, they existed in pairs, and so as genes, they had similar nature. Chromosomes, they segregated. We have just seen in the illustration of NCERT, we have interpreted it that chromosomes, they are segregating, they are getting separated from each other in different division. Like in meiosis 1, homologous chromosomes, they got separated. In meiosis 2, centromeric division happened, because of which chromatids got separated. So chromosomes, they segregate, and so as genes. Chromosomes, they independently assort, and so as genes. That means these are the similarities that were worked out between the chromosomes and the genes. Boveri and Sutton, they concluded it is not actually the genes they are doing segregation or independent assortment. They are the chromosomes that are doing it, because movement of the chromosome is continuously happening in the cell division. So this interpretation, the postulates of the theory are important. Hope you have learned this. We will meet in the next video. Thank you.